Welcome back to 31 Mad Days of Terror. As always, I'm your host, the titular Mad Silence. The Babysitter felt like the perfect way to end this marathon, oddly enough. Being released on Friday the 13th, back in 2017, it even came out in October, which is just perfect. This on top of having, well, one obvious reference to the slasher franchise that took its name from that specific date. And one scene I'm almost certain is also a reference. I say almost because it's much more subtle, to the point where I may just be connecting dots where there realistically aren't any. And if you're wondering why I'm not playing the scene, it's because it's a character death, aka a spoiler, and unlike with the last film, I'm trying not to spoil this one. After all, this film is actually funnier than Sleepaway Camp II. Okay, to be fair, it's also better. To be less fair though, anything is better than getting toxic slop poured on you. Just ask Jason. Too soon? But yeah, The Babysitter is just kind of okay. It's a comedy that's kind of funny, it's fittingly brutal, which may be its strongest aspect, and the storytelling is sufficient. And the villains are all pretty blatant stereotypes that really don't do anything to stand out, besides maybe B and Max. And while there's a cleverness to the villains being slasher archetypes, the writing isn't strong enough to make any of them all that memorable. Again, except for Samara Weaving's B and Robbie Amell's Max. See, while I don't love B, as she's the villainous equivalent of the final girl, we do spend more time with her. And the writing prioritizes fleshing the character out, unlike the other villains. Aside from Amell's, I suppose. Maybe I'm just biased towards Max, but the twisted big brother role he has with the protagonist is kinda great. I mean, this is a character who's actively trying to kill the main one. And yet, when he realizes this kid is being bullied, he makes it his mission to take Cole under his wing and teach him to defend himself. Once that's done though, he returns to trying to kill this literal child. That is such a fun dynamic, something I'm not sure I've seen done anywhere else. Other than Max though, I didn't really care much for the film. Unlike say a Scream, The Blackening, or yes, Scary Movie, it's nothing super memorable or stand out. And it's also just quite obnoxious a lot of the time. There are times the film will do something like throw text on the screen to emphasize a moment, except in an otherwise pretty fantastic sequence, like with B stabbing the sacrificial nerd in the head, all it does is completely take me out of the moment. And there are quite a few other elements that also do this for me. The film will just speed up in this attempt to make something more dramatic, and it only ends up clashing with the intended tone, even at one point reminding me of that scene from The Mutilator. Again, I guess the movie tells a competent enough story. Look, I'm trying to do the compliment sandwich thing here, but this is really just fine and didn't do much of anything for me. But maybe its sequel will. How about we find out together next year, as we look at the first terror of 2024, The Babysitter Killer Queen. How is that for a segue? In the meantime, feel free to like the video, leave a comment, positive or negative, and maybe even subscribe if you haven't yet. And do keep an eye out for more from this channel going forward. Until next time though, this is Mad Silence, signing out.
Why is he shirtless?
That's your first question?
I mean, how can you even ask that? Just look at him.